This is a mock interview for the purposes of practice, experience, and confidence building. I am interviewing myself, but the answers are genuine, so let them be recorded for posterity. Perhaps one day, years from now, I will look back on this interview with fondness. What's your name, age, and where are you from? My name is Andrei. I'm 37. I'm from Latvia, a small country in Europe. Do you like living in Latvia, or is there somewhere in the world you'd prefer to live instead? I'm not sure really. Latvia is not that bad, but I think of more egalitarian countries like Norway. I lived in Norway for 2 years, learned the language a bit. It was nice, so I don't know. If I had complete financial freedom, maybe I'd live in Norway instead. What made you decide to pick up streaming? Well, circumstances, I guess. I have all the time in the world, I already play video games, so why not pick up a mic and start streaming? It was a right fit, I would say. How long have you been doing streaming? Successfully, 0. Consider this interview my first small success in streaming. Have you had much success with it so far? Not really, if I'm honest, but that's fine. Where I come from, we have a saying that goes something like this: the first pancake comes out crooked. So that just proved to be my experience with streaming. It's fine, I'll get over it. Do you consider streaming a job, a hobby, a passion, or a project? Well, for now it is somewhere between a hobby and a project. I don't even know if I want to do streaming, honestly. Like I said, it appears to be simply the right fit, but I'm still trying it on, like a new shoe at the store, you know? Do you feel comfortable streaming? And if yes, how long did it take you to find that zone of comfort? Right now, no, I haven't found that comfort zone yet. Streaming feels weird, awkward, definitely outside my comfort zone.
Clay must feel happy in the good.
And how long do you stream each day? Do you stream every day? And why that schedule? I have set up a schedule of 20 hours per day, every day. I've been told that 12 hours a day is an insane schedule, but for the time being I'm going with it anyway. Yes, I know that you burn out, but I've also read somewhere that the longer you stream, the more chances you get of getting noticed. And discoverability is an issue, isn't it? What do you think is the formula of success for streaming? What must one do to be successful? Oh, I'm not the person to be asking that, I think. I haven't reached success. From what I researched on the internet, you have to be either charismatic or entertaining as a gamer, or both. Then, even if you are those things, it will still take time and luck for you to get discovered and properly grow your audience. Is there anything hindering you from being more successful as a streamer? Perhaps something you'd like to change? Well, a lot of things really. I'm a social recluse, and so talking to people even just in voice chat is, let's say, stressful, outside my comfort zone. I also have a handicap, a mental illness that makes everything more difficult. I suppose if my person was a character in a game and I was the player controlling that character, I would send him to an acting class or an improv class to loosen him up socially, communicationally. But the reality, of course, is that even though I know that attending such a class would be to my benefit, I'm also too shy and reserved to attend it. I'm like a turtle hiding in its shell. But who knows, maybe one day soon I'll find it in me to attend a class and become more charismatic. Before you started streaming, did you do any research into the ins and outs of streaming, the difficulties and hurdles, the pitfalls, the tips and tricks, and just the general advice? If yes, did it discourage you? I watched several hours worth of videos on YouTube, various advice, mostly just from one person. I'm not gonna say that it discouraged me, or maybe it did. I guess it sobered me up to the reality. Before watching those videos, I had an idea, oh, I'll do streaming, it's gonna be great. And after those videos, it was a more measured approach to the idea of streaming. I still wanted to try it, but I was more cautious now. What was your first streaming experience like? Was it a hit, or was it perhaps a humbling experience? The first streaming experience was a failure, I suppose. It was trial by fire, and I failed in many ways. First of all, I mishandled something crucial. My mic was muted, and I thought it was on. And so the first 3 hours of footage, the ones where I had my best friend on and we talked for 3 hours, it didn't record me talk, and any potential viewers didn't hear me, they only heard my friend responding to me. Then, when my friend left and I discovered that my mic was muted, I had another 9 hours of streaming left to do, but I chickened out. I was afraid, you could say, to go into that stream alone or by myself with 0 viewers. It felt really uncomfortable. Of course, I had my plan of reaching out to other streamers and inviting them for an interview, but even that seemed difficult to do. It felt awkward. I felt so far outside my comfort zone, so instead of streaming, instead of following up with the schedule, I just went to sleep. I hid from the world, even though that world was the virtual world of streaming. And so yes, my first streaming experience was definitely a humbling one. Do you have any stories of overcoming difficulties and succeeding in streaming? Well, I don't know, you tell me. Is anyone out there listening to this interview? If yes, then I have succeeded. If you are listening to this interview, then it means that after my first streaming failure, I simply sat down at my laptop and I wrote a mock interview with myself. A practice interview, so to speak. A confidence building tool. I wrote down the questions I would ask to any potential person I'd be interviewing, and I wrote my own answers to these questions. Then I went and recorded the interview and uploaded it to Twitch and YouTube. Sure, I didn't produce any real interviews on my first day of streaming, but by interviewing myself on this episode 0, I salvaged a small victory. I produced some content, which is the goal anyway. What are your aspirations as a streamer? How large of an audience do you want? Do you want streaming to be your career? Well, I look at large streamers who have thousands of viewers and I think that it is too much, that I won't be able to handle that I don't want that at all. But then of course I look at streamers who have 0 viewers and I think that I don't want that either. I guess anywhere up to 100 viewers I would want and feel comfortable with. For now, even having 10 viewers would seem like a huge victory. Would I want it to be my career? I'm not sure. Right now it feels weird and alien, and so, of course, after my first failed experience with streaming, I'm naturally repulsed by it. But give it time, and that may change. Maybe 1 year from now I will have established myself as a streamer, and streaming will be totally my comfort zone. Then yes, I suppose I would want such a future for myself. But like I said, right now it just feels weird. What advice would you give to new aspiring streamers? As a first time streamer myself, I am hardly the person to be giving advice. From my own experience, I would say check and double check, prepare and over prepare. Don't expect everything to just fall into place on its own. Don't expect to just wing it. Have a backup plan and have a backup to that backup. Don't expect much success at the beginning. Be prepared to entertain an audience of 0 viewers. Be prepared to just talk to yourself for hours on end. And prepare topics to talk about. Write them down if you have to. Maybe write up mock questions from the audience to yourself and then answer those questions on stream. If you were starting over with streaming today, what would you do differently? Like I said, I would prepare more. Prepare and over prepare. Prepare more games to entertain myself with, games that would definitely engage me. Prepare topics to talk about. Any final thoughts? Some wisdom to share? Yes, set your expectations low and do everything possible to just have fun doing your streams. Just have fun playing the game and try making it entertaining. Thank you for listening.